Keep California cowgirls from vanishing.
Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Suzie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly.
Semi drives a cart. Sadie pulls a log. Sadie learns to pull a cart. Miniature Zebu heifer Suzie learns to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learns to pull a harrow. This is part 3 of ranch roping with Firecrest Easter Eve. Moving objects, especially my mini Zebus. But I'm not roping them again until I've had some more practice with Eve. And today we're going to make it easy practice, I hope. We're going to have Eve move towards the roping horns that I have here that are going to be pulled by Brianna with a handle. So Eve will be asked to help me go into position to underhand rope these roping horns, which I designed from an old yard tool that I didn't use anymore. You see that I have my lariat, which is about 32 feet long. It gives me plenty of coils to let loose if I can't get quite as close as I'd like. I have on Eve's head today, because it seemed to work pretty good last time, a short shank bit. So we'll see if it works good today, because today I'm going to be asking her to move toward the object. Last time, at the end of part 2, I just asked her to stand still as the object moved around us. So you're seeing, unrehearsed, our first attempt today to do a few minutes of roping, and it will be just a few minutes if I could just catch and get her to put me in position to do so. So Brianna's going to leave the camera where it is, go out and start pulling the roping horns with the handle that we designed just for this purpose. I have spurs on just to tickle her, just to let her know that I've got them on, not to jab her. Okay, stop. I asked Brianna to stop, just so Eve realizes that she's to stop when the moving object stops. Okay, go around here. Now Eve is getting a little bit stressed, so I'm going to stop. Let her think about it. I'm going to adjust my coils a little bit. That was pretty good. Whoa. It was pretty good on Eve's part. My swing was pretty good. I got only one horn, but I'm happy that Eve was reasonable. She started to get a little bit stressed, and that's why I stopped for a few moments just to tell her it's not gonna be stressful, just relax. Now this loop that I have is a little bit too small for those horns. Okay, I've got my 3 coils, got my loop. Between my coils and my loop, I like to have about this much rope, a little bit less. I've got the tail of my rope on the left side of Eve's neck, about that much. I've got the reins between my ring finger and my middle finger. Now, because this is quite a big loop, I'm going to, let me ask you to go to the left. Oh, good. I'm going to do what ropers tend to do to keep large loops out from under their stirrup. I'm tucking it under my arm. And then remember, I'm ranch roping with an underhand loop. So I'm not going to be swinging it over my head, but I will be trying to put Eve in position so that the moving object is slightly ahead of her, and so that her neck and her hips are not in the way of my swinging my rope with an underhand loop. I'm going to ask her to back. She's a little bit stressed. You see how she's turning away from the pull of my rein, so I'm going to do a little direct reining here. Okay, back. I'm going to walk her up to the standing object. And that was absolutely perfect. She wasn't scared. I tried to stay upright in my saddle. I didn't have to stand up in my stirrups this time because I was close enough. I dropped the necessary coil that I needed to reach the roping horns, and I got 2 horns. So I'm going to quit for today on a good note of resolution. In today's session with Eve and roping, we've put what we call our herd out here, our training herd. And what I mean by that is, in the corner, my cameraman will show you, is Suzie and her daughter Sheila. Behind me, well, to my left, I'm going to move out of the way, is my dry steer. And Brianna is going to work the ATV and the roping horns. And we're going to have Eve today approach these things as if I was going to rope. I'm going to swing. I may or may not throw my underhand loop. Today, the idea is to give Eve the experience of being in a so-called herd. We have the short shank bridle bit in her mouth. I have my spurs on. She knows I do. You see, I just tickled her. And my western saddle with a horn in case I want to try to dally. I haven't done that yet with Eve. That's something we have to get good at, because catching is one thing, dallying without losing the horns, dallying without scaring your horse is yet another activity, another task. And these are all athletic tasks that we're going to keep practicing. And today you'll see the scenario of how we practice at this point in our training. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to my dry steer. Over there, my vinyl dry steer. It's stationary. I practice on a similar dry steer every morning at my house. Ooh. I want Eve to be light. More than anything, I want her to be light. Whoa. And by the way, we do have her caballos on. She is shoeless most of the day now, but when we work, especially on ground that might have acorns and rocks and so forth, we like to put her caballos on. Back. Ooh. Ooh. Now I'm in position to rope underhand the dry steer. And Eve has been pretty good, pretty light. Ooh. There we go. And I got it. I got a head catch, which is what I'm likely to get when I do my mini Zebus as well, because their horns are small and their hump is relatively large. So my best bet is to get a head catch. Next, I'm going to try to follow very slowly the ATV and roping horns that are going to move very slowly, and see if I can get Eve into position so I can at least throw an underhand loop. Okay, Brianna. I'm going to have Eve watch it. Brianna's going to move it. Whoa, whoa. Okay, that's a miss, but Eve was good. She even backed up for me a little bit. I caught part of it, but not the two horns is what I'm trying to do. But this is good practice. This is good practice to see if Eve will be light and will rate the moving object. Because next, I want to try my mini Zebus. And I don't want anybody to be stressed by that practice. And Brianna, just start heading this way again. Okay, one horn. That's better than last time. Good. That was real good on Eve's part. We'll get ready for the next throw. See how Eve is allowing me to form my coils, form my loop? How she's allowing me to let her stand right by this thing, this clanking thing that used to bother her. She's allowing me to flip my coils over in order to make my loop bigger. I'm putting this large loop under my arm. I'm going to back Eve up by looking over her ears. She's giving me a little bit of resistance, so back. Good. All right, Brianna? Whoa. Good. That was a good throw. Almost got two horns. But that was a real good throw on my part, a real good behavior from Eve. Again, she's standing still for me. I try to, when I'm doing all this rope manipulation, I try to sit deep in the saddle. I want her to understand that this is not the time to move. I'm getting better at forming my loop a little faster. Eve knows I'm about to ask her to move. Okay, Brianna. And I think we have it. Do we?
Not quite.
Not quite, but it's getting closer. And look how good Eve is being. And if I throw and do catch, unless I say stop, keep going just a little bit further back. I've been catching. It's just that it has to be a legal catch, one that could turn a cow. If you had to stop a cow or turn it in order to do what you need to do to cows, like medicate them or check their hooves. Okay? I'm asking her to wait. There you go. Oh, perfect. Yes. Yes, good. And you went further, and look, the rope is touching her on her front legs in the front. And that's good. She's really good. So our objective today is do it one time, do it right, and stop on that note of resolution. Now we're going to stop the camera, and we're going to go and ask Suzie to come out and see how she's behaving today. We now have our kids' rope around Suzie's horns. And Brianna's walking her around. Can you walk around me? We're giving Eve another introduction today because it's been a while since we've asked her to give me practice roping a real mini Zebu. Eve is being good. She's watching. I can see it out of the side of her eyes. We're not quite sure what Suzie's going to do when we take the lasso off, but that's what we want to find out today. If she goes wild, then I certainly won't be able to rope her. Then I'll just work on rating her with Eve. And we, as you see, we left the ATV out, we left the dry steer out, Seal is here, and Rusty, the bull, the father, is on the other side of the fence. So we're all together here. Okay, now let's stop. Can you take the lasso off, and let's see what Suzie does. This will be a first. I'm going to let her walk without rating her at first, just to see, is she scared? Is she going to run? Is she going to go to Sela? Is she going to go to Papa Rusty? Not. Looks like she's just fine. And that's the kind of roping practice I need at this point, and rating practice. Let's see now if I walk towards her with Eve, trying to stay out of strike zone, both bovine strike zone and equine strike zone. And you see they're head on head. How can I rope Suzie without hitting Sela's head? So I have to wait. I have to have a very patient horse. Yeah. She's not choosing to move, even though I'm approaching from the back. Now I'm going to move Eve over, and I'm going to approach from the side. Yeah. The objective here is to put this loop around this cow so that if I have to doctor her, I can. So can my horse walk right up to her? In which case this loop should be smaller. I've seen that on ranches as well. When you're really doing roping for a reason and not just for a sport. Making a smaller loop. Eve just gave me a big sigh. Can I get her to take small steps, slow steps? I'm looking at Suzie's head so that Eve knows that's where I'm aiming. Ooh. Ooh. Another step. Can I get another step? I'm just tickling her with my spur. Whoop. Now she's backing up. I'm not asking for it. And she moved away. She doesn't understand why I'm asking her to stand there. Try it again. Woo. Then get her hips over. Woo. I let go of my coil, but Suzie turned her head and I missed, but that's good. Eve stood still. Form another small loop. Can I doctor this cow if I need to, with Eve's help? What's next? Eve has been real patient. Let's see if I can get closer without her losing her patience. The fence is a little bit close to Suzie's head. Whoa. Suzie's head is now down. I can't catch it. When it's down like that, I have to be patient and wait. All right, now we've moved the Zebus, or they moved themselves to the other corner, and it's under a tree branch. Eve was real good rating them. They didn't get too upset, but they moved together. Brianna on her knees here helped them to realize that we want them to stay in the corner. Oh, I'm under a tree branch. Go over haunches. My cameraman's going to have to try to follow. Now you're going to see Eve following. Woo. Woo. Good. Oh, if Suzie had given me another few seconds, I might have been able to underhand throw. But she's not, so I'm going to follow. And when a cow's going where you want it to go, just stop and let it go there. Don't keep pushing. So I'm going to come around here with Eve. So far, Eve's been light. Back. Come on around. There go the cows. That's okay. I want Eve to realize we're not running after them. We're just trying to get into position. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Under the branch again. Whoop. Around. Here there's my ATV, which is another herd member I have to avoid. There you go. Oh. This is the catch that I was waiting for. This is a breakaway Honda. Now the question is, can I get it to break away, or does Brianna have to take it off? Brianna, before you take it off, let me see. Now watch, I'm going to pull slack, which means I'm going to wrap this rope one time around my horn, which has rubber on it so it doesn't slip. I'm going to get Eve's hip over. Nope, whoop, whoop. Wrap it again. Nope. Can be very dangerous to pull slack on a horse that doesn't know what it's supposed to do when it feels that pressure. So what I'm going to do now for this lesson is to just let Eve stand here with this rope pulled tight on Susie's neck. And Susie's standing there. She's accommodating. I have only one wrap around my horn so that if Eve starts moving or Suzie starts moving, I can unwrap it very easily, very quickly, without getting a finger caught or a horse concerned. Now Suzie is moving, Eve is standing. I like that. And we're a long ways away from the camera, but I do have a perfect neck catch.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Sammy, Rusty and Suzie, Heifer Calf Sela. For more information, www.cowgirlchannel.com.